Hey, Monkees fans. Welcome to another Podcast Valley Sunday. I am one of your hosts, Chris Paco.
And I'm the other host, Jeff Cameron.
How's it going, Jeff?
It's going A-OK. How about you?
Going good. Finally, season 2. We're finally into season 2.
Finally into season 2. We are back. And oddly enough, just a quick aside, it's February 28th when we're doing this, which is almost exactly a year after our last in-person sesh.
Yeah.
And on Leap Day weekend, we managed to crank out episodes 17 to 24.
Yeah.
I can't believe we used to do that.
I was thinking about that this morning when I was getting up. I was like, we used to do 4 episodes a day for 2 days in a row and be set. Like now it'd be set for 4 months.
For real.
It's crazy that it's been a whole year since we've actually done one of these in person.
Yeah.
And it's also crazy that we used to make sure we did them in person.
Well, we didn't really think of doing them any other way until we had to.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, it's very weird. But
For
it's
real.
also very good to be back to doing the seasons.
Definitely.
We had a bunch of specials, loved the specials, loved doing them.
That was a lot of fun for sure.
The jellies, the jams, the Nez talk, everything. But here we are, season 2. This is the one we've been like really excited for too. We hit the ground running, I gotta say. So here we are, episode 33, season 2 debut. A nice place to visit, aka Monkees in Mexico. Directed by our buddy James Frawley, written by Treva Silverman, and originally aired September 11th, 1967.
I think this was the 9th episode they made, but the first that they premiered for the season.
Yeah, I was actually looking ahead to the rest of the season, and even like the second or third last episode was filmed in like April 67.
Really?
Yeah, it's really weird how because they all look different, but it's from like last season. All right, so we open up on a sign that says "Welcome to El Monotno, Mex." It just says Mex, doesn't say Mexico. It says Mex. The boys are standing around the monkey mobile, and some dude is fixing it. That dude is Pedro Gonzalez. If you want to, check out his IMDb. Micky tells Mike that soon the car will be fixed and they'll be out of here. And Davy's complaining that there's nothing to do in this town. And Peter says that he saw a sign to give tourists something to do.
Oh, really? What did it say? Yankee, go home.
And Mike says, "Why don't we Yankee go in?" And they go into this place that has another sign that says, "We speak English." Very good to lay that out. So boys walk into the saloon, get dirty looks from all the locals, and take a bunch of chairs off a table and sit down. But like Mike's chair falls over as he's trying to sit down. He just kind of slowly moves to the ground.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I don't think that was a planned thing. I don't think that was in it, because Micky and Peter are killing themselves laughing when Mike's doing this. And then Peter misses his chair when he tries to sit down on it.
Yeah, they were not prepared to shoot that, because you could tell they're just doing it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Once all's back in order, this pretty young waitress comes up to the table and asks if she can help them. And Davy's in love. Instantly, Davy's in love with this girl.
Again.
May I help you?
You already have.
Oh, true love strikes again.
Baby, don't, not this time.
So the guys try to talk him out of it, but it's too late. He asks her name. It's Angelita. Her real name is Cynthia Hull. I think sister of Bobby Hull, the father of Brett Hull. And Davy says that it means little angel. And she asks what Davy means. And Mike says,
David means business, baby.
Okay, slight little thing here. Have you found, since like we've chatted with Nez, when you're watching Nez, you're kind of like, that's so Nez.
Yeah, definitely. Some of his reactions and the way he acts is definitely our buddy Nez.
Yeah, exactly. So Davy asks her if she'd like to walk around the village with him and show him around, but she says she can't. And then the guy behind the bar, who I assumed was her dad, he pipes up and calls her over to him. Then Dad tells Davy she's not going anywhere with him because they're leaving town tonight. And the boy says, who says we have to leave town tonight? And then an extra from Three Amigos pops up and he says, El Diablo says so.
El Diablo, he says so.
And the boys act tough and tell him they aren't going anywhere. And then he pulls out a knife and throws it at them, and it lands on the table. And the boys freak out and they leave. On their way out, they knock over more chairs. on top of the tables. And I honestly, I don't even know if that was on purpose either. Like, I think that was another mix up on their way out the door.
For real.
Then that gets us to the intro.
The new intro.
New intro. And this is the intro that, for whatever reason, I connect with the Monkees from when we were watching it when we were younger.
Yeah, I think the syndication package that Much Music had just had this intro on every episode. Because I think maybe like on just like the pilot, Here Come the Monkees. Maybe they had. I remember seeing the original intro, but not often. It was always this one where everybody's Davy for a second. And it's always been this episode.
Everybody's Peter.
This intro. Peter, yeah, everyone's Peter.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing Davy being Peter in my head.
Exactly. Yeah. And with Davy, we'll bring it up later. But yeah, so this really felt like the Monkees to me, watching this intro.
Yes.
So we come into the show. The scene is very westernified.
We gotta get out of here.
And it's pretty cool to hear it like that, I gotta say. And the boys say they've got to get out of here. But Davy says, what about Angelita?
Angelita? Are you kidding, man? You heard what the guy said. That's El Diablo's girl. And if he catches you with her, he'll kill you.
Well, every couple has its problems.
Every couple.
But really, all she did was ask for his order. And now he thinks he needs to save her life. It's
real.
like, Davy means business, baby. Let's get out of town. El Diablo's coming. He's so love drunk. He reminds me of me in high school. Like, too fast, too soon. Calm down, Davy. It's like,
Oh, man.
this is going to get you killed.
And a few times, we should have been keeping track all along, but how many times does Davy say you must be joking?
That's a good one. We should, that should be added to the list of things we look at.
Because he says it a few times in this first scene.
It's true.
She's got my jacket.
So the other dude's trying to talk some sense into him, but he says he needs to go back in there. And as soon as he turns to the door, there's that guy there with the knife. And finally, Davy isn't thinking with his big old dick anymore, and they just run to the car. A welcome change for Davy. So boys get back to the car. Mike asks the mechanics. He found out what's wrong with it. The guy says he examined it from top to bottom, and he found the problem.
Oh, good. What is it?
He's broken.
And Mike asks if it's a fan belt or something like that. And the guy says, no, it's not. They need a new motor. And he gestures to the ground, and the motor's completely taken apart and laying on a blanket. At least he put it on a blanket for him.
That's thoughtful.
Yeah. So Mike asks how much a motor will cost, and the guy goes off.
50,000 centavos for the labor. 60,000 centavos for the parts, and 40,000 centavos
Well,
for
wait a
the-
minute. How much is that in American money?
14.95.
And I thought they were going to be stoked that it wasn't that much, but they're perplexed that it's so expensive, and they have no money to pay for it in Mexico, which is a good point. If you have no money, you have no money. Back in those days, definitely. Mm-hmm. So then Davey asks if they could work it off. And so we cut to inside the saloon, talking to Angelita's father, and he tells them that the people around here don't know their American music, but the old must make way for the new, and he tells them that they can play tonight. Now, like, okay, this is weird, because he just said, you guys have got to get out of here tonight. You're getting out of here. And they come back, and he's like, no one likes your music. Come back tonight and play your music. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
So we cut to the Monkees. They're playing What Am I Doing Hanging Around. They're wearing the blue 8-button shirts. They're on a little stage of the saloon. Mickey's vamping a lot. Mike is really giving her, though.
They got their late 1967 hairstyles, even though they got their early 1967 hairstyles the rest of the episode.
I thought that as well. Mickey's got his big puffy hair and everything. And it's really fun to see him like that. But Dad's super happy with them, tells them they can play until they can't play anymore.
You could do the second verse over again, I suppose.
Mickey says they're going to play the show and stay out of trouble. And then Davy and Angelita make eyes at each other.
I count our chickens before they've hatched.
Davy says he just wants to say goodbye, and the boys reluctantly agree. But then Davy goes and gives her a kiss. He gives her a kiss. What do you think?
Straight up.
What are you thinking? She tells him that she doesn't want to be El Diablo's girl, but in this town she doesn't have a choice. Davy says he understands. I don't know how he understands that. But maybe he thought about when his grandfather was going to take him home and he had no choice.
Oh, yeah. That's, subtle callback for sure.
Yeah. But he feels it's best if they don't see each other again. He only saw her once this afternoon. So he's really jumping to it. He kisses her again, and Mike says that he was only supposed to say goodbye. And Davy says he wants to say goodbye again and kisses her again. Except this time they just keep kissing. And then some dude comes running into the saloon screaming about El Diablo is coming.
Diablo! El Diablo's coming!
Everybody starts running all over the place. They're bumping into Davy and Angelita, but they just keep on kissing. And Mike tells everybody to wait a minute. And everything hushes. And he says,
Who is this El Diablo person?
and I don't know what it is. The way he says it kills me.
Yeah.
It's like he's falling asleep while he's saying it. And some huge dudes with guns come in. He's surrounded by other large dudes with guns. And he sees that Davy's guns everywhere again.
Almost to make up for their off season. Everyone's covered in guns and bullets. And it's gun time on the Monkees once again.
Yeah, they hit the ground gunning. El Diablo sees that Davy's kissing his girl.
Who is this I see with the woman of El Diablo?
And Davy says that they were just dancing. And El Diablo, whose real name is Peter Whitney, doesn't sound Mexican to me.
Not much Mexican.
No. Says that if he likes dancing, then dance. And he starts shooting at his feet, making him dance. Like, see every other Western movie for examples. Mm-hmm. El Diablo asks Angelita if this is the guy she's going to leave him for. And she says that he loves him. Loves him?
Oh, that's quick.
Man, Davy got the moves. And then Davy now tries to weasel out of the whole love thing. Whoa, baby. Whoa. I'm leaving in 10 minutes.
You didn't even give her the star eyes, I don't think.
No, he didn't. He didn't even need to.
Yeah,
she was all in right away. Mm-hmm. And then El Diablo shows Davy what he does to gringos like him.
First I cock the pistol, then I close my eyes, then I aim and I fire.
You might miss.
I take my chances.
And just as he's about to shoot Davy, the boys run in and kneel at El Guapo's feet. He reminded me of El Guapo from Three Amigos.
I think we privately referred to this episode as the Four Amigos.
Yes, it is the Four Amigos. So from now on, El Diablo, I'm calling him El Guapo.
Well, as a side note, El Diablo translates to the devil.
Yes, that is true.
We have Angelita here, the little angel. So it's a little thematic, hit you over the head with it type stuff.
Look out, yeah. And El Guapo translates to the Guapo.
The Guapo.
Just in case you're wondering. So they kneel at El Guapo's feet and beg for Davy's life. And this only makes El Guapo mad. And he shoots into the ceiling of his girlfriend's dad's bar. Like, show some respect, Guapo. And she says that she still loves Davy and runs into his arms. And she talks about how cute Davy is.
Please don't. She's only joking. Please don't do that. Oh, he's going to shoot me.
And so El Guapo tells his goons to grab Davy, and he says that he's taking him to the Bandito camp.
If you try to resist, you will suffer indescribable torture.
And if I don't resist?
Describable torture.
And on his way out, El Guapo gives the boys the stink eye and then leaves. And they're just like, well, he's big. But really, let's be serious. Davy brought this on himself. He was told not to fool around with this girl, but could he keep his snake in the cage? No.
It's a recurring theme.
Now he's kidnapped by Mexican outlaws.
If there is a recurring theme in the Monkees, that's got to be one of them.
Yeah.
And as a side note, I've just been handed a transmission from Podcast Valley Labs. El Guapo translates to the handsome.
Oh, there you go.
Which I think was part of the joke in Three Amigos.
Definitely.
It sounds badass.
It does. The handsome. So now Micky gets up on stage and he's riling up the locals, trying to get them to charge into the Bandito camp, but they all bail on him. They want nothing to do with it. So the boys are outside by a fountain, which, behind the scenes, that's always a nightmare to shoot around, is a fountain. It's so loud and it ruins everything. So Mike says that they're going to have to go there themselves. Then they appear one after the other in full Bandito gear with big mustaches and strapped with bullets and guns. And we get we don't need no stinking badges joke.
Of course.
See every other movie featuring a Mexican person, for example, including UHF.
You know where that originated?
I don't.
It's Treasure of Sierra Madre from like 1940 something.
Wow.
That's where it started.
It's interesting. Like, from a film, I'm sure not a lot of people would know offhand. Something like a line like that has just permeated the culture for decades.
Yeah, I think it's something like for people like probably more back then who are into American cinema. It's kind of a thing, like a kind of a standard Western.
I see.
You know what
Interesting. I mean? Well, there you go. So anyway, they charge into the camp where there are a bunch of dudes sitting around drinking. And the boys are shooting off their guns into the air. I always wonder where those bullets land when someone just shoots in the air. Like, does it hurt somebody when it falls down? Like, what happens? And they're yelling, going crazy, but no one even cares or pays attention to them. And then Micky says,
I think we got him, guys.
then the banditos jump up and surround the monkeys, and Micky says,
I think they got us, guys.
and they don't see Davy anywhere, but one of the guys says he's going to take him to El Guapo.
Is that what he said?
That's a direct quote. He pushes them into a tent. El Guapo's there, and he asks what this is all about. Mike says he's there to introduce the greatest bandit in the world, and smacks Micky in the chest and almost knocks him over. Guapo asks who this man is that calls himself the greatest bandit in the world, and Micky goes full Micky, and it's hilarious. El Guapo introduces himself as the bandit without a heart. Micky calls himself El Dolenzio, the bandit without a soul. Mike is El Esmitho, the bandit without a conscience. What?
I think it's El Nesmito.
All right, well,
I don't know. It's something like that.
it's one of them. And Peter is El Torco, the bandit without a nickname. El Dolenzio says that they want to join forces with El Guapo, and he says they aren't worthy of shiny as boots. And Peter says they even brought their kit, and he folds out like a shoe shining kit. And Guapo says he will give them a series of tests, and if they pass each test, they can join the gang. But the last man that failed was found in a ditch where he was shot, knifed, poisoned, and killed. The boys try to spin their guns on their fingers, and Mike and Micky can't do it. But Peter's really good at it, and it amazes them. And Mike says,
That's very cool. I didn't know you could do that. You used to play the dummy.
He's so slick with the gun, though.
he's so good with it. For probably the most pacifist member of the Monkees, he can wield a gun like nobody's beeswax.
Is this the first overt mention of Peter being the dummy?
Maybe. It's definitely the first one of season 2.
Well, good call there.
So we go to the commercial break. K-E-double-L. And then come back from commercial, and Davy's tied to a tree. The other guys are with El Guapo and his men, and he and Mike are in an arm wrestling match, and Mike is winning. Then El Guapo's winning. And just as El Guapo's about to win, the board they were using on the barrel flips up and hits El Guapo in the head and knocks him out cold. Boom! So El Guapo and El Torco are playing cards, and everybody's smoking. Guapo asks for any deuces, and Peter tells him to go fish. So that's that whole scene. They're just playing go fish. The next test is El Dolenzio, as he and El Guapo are tied together at the wrist, and they each have a knife. And like Peter got to play go fish. Mickey's tied to him with a knife fight. And Mike says, cut the rope, in a very obvious dubbed line.
Yep.
And Micky cuts it, and Guapo and his men go flying. So the Outlaws and the Monkees are at a big dinner. Guapo says the celebration is for them and offers them wine, but they decline. And Guapo says when he drinks wine, everyone drinks wine. So the boys drink up, and they do a toast, and they throw the wine over their shoulders. They're doing all these different toasts, and Peter's toast is,
To end all this drinking.
Guapo thinks that's funny. And when the boys cheers against their mugs, they all shatter. Mike sends Peter out to find Davy, and Guapo asks where he's going, and Mike says that he needs fresh air. But Guapo points out that they're already outside. So Mike switches it and says that the wine made Peter sick, and Guapo thinks that's hilarious.
Oh, God.
So Peter talks to the guy watching over Davy and speaks some horrible Spanish.
Yo, Gardero, el prisionero, usted va partio. Yeah?
Eventually he just says they have booze over there, and the guy goes. Davy doesn't recognize Peter and gets scared, but then they have a great reunion.
Davy, it's me, Peter.
Peter who?
Peter Tork.
Oh, Peter.
Davy.
Peter. Davy. Peter.
But Peter doesn't know how to undo a square knot. Back at the party, Mickey's dancing on the table, and Mike tells him they need to find Peter. So they tell El Guapo they need some air, and he thinks that's hilarious. And in all honesty, this is a lot like the scene in The Three Amigos, where El Guapo and his people are together drinking, and they think everything's hilarious. Peter's still having trouble with the knot, and Davy says he needs to put the rope through the figure 8 and makes a symbol with his hand, showing that he's not really tied up. Hilarious. Micky and Mike show up, and Peter doesn't even recognize them. Micky intros himself as Mike. Micky unties Dave with no problems, and Mike says, "Vámonos, amigos," and no one knows what it means.
Vámonos, amigos. Huh?
What is that?
What's that mean?
It means, come on, guys, let's go.
Oh, at least it's a character.
They race to the Monkey Mobile, jump into it, and the guy tells him that it's 50 cents to park there. This guy's Godfrey Cambridge. and so it's like the one black dude in Mexico running the parking lot. And the boys pay him, and then they drive over his feet on the way out, which seems to be a reoccurring Monkees thing.
It was the whole point of that scene was to Drive over that dude's foot.
Yeah, poor guy. So back at the party, El Guapo realized he's been duped and send his banditos to ride after him. Monkeys are pushing the monkey mobile in the street, and the guy that helped them earlier offers them gas. And Davy and Angelita see each other and they kiss, and Mike asks the dude how much gas is.
How much for the gas?
20,000 centavos for the can.
Okay.
50,000 centavos for the gas.
Okay.
And 40,000 centavos for the labor.
What? What labor?
All the thinking to add it up.
A drunken bandito shows up on a horse and gives Mickey a note, and it's from El Guapo. And it says he wants to challenge El Dolenzio to a duel of honor in the center of town at high noon.
Listen, if there's heavy traffic, can we make it 12:15?
And Mike asks what he's going to do, and Mickey says, I've been challenged to a duel before. What do you think I'm going to do? And Mike says, split. And he says, you're right. And they run to the car. But then goddamn Angelina pipes up, and she says if they split, El Guapo is going to punch the entire town.
Baby, if I don't leave, you're going to punish my entire body.
And she begs them. So, of course, they stay because they're good guys.
Mm-hmm.
So you cut to Mickey. He's dressed in all white like a cowboy, and the other dudes are around him also dressed as cowboys. And Mickey says he welcomes this duel and knows that he's going to win. And Davy asks if it's because the symbol of good always wins. And Mickey says no, because the lead in a TV series always wins. And he asks for his lucky holster, his lucky 45, his lucky 38, and his 3 lucky Hobe receivers. And they pile Mickey with a ton of guns and bullets, and he ends up falling over. So the Hobe receivers, that's definitely the Bill Cosby thing, right?
For sure, yes.
Yeah, it pops up and going down. So it's high noon. Streets are clear except for El Guapo and his men, the monkeys and Angelita. The bell tolls, and one of the rings is Davy's head hitting the bell at the top of the strongman game from the original intro. So Mickey comes out of the saloon, and the music's full Western. El Guapo says he showed up, and Mickey says,
I showed up for the showdown.
El Guapo says that he's killed many men at high noon, and Mickey asks why he chooses high noon for his dates, and El Guapo says that he's working on his tan. Weird.
Not sure you noticed, but the bell only rang 11 times. I don't know if they got daylight savings or something, but
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the exchange rate in Mexico. So Guapo says he's going to count to 3 and counts 1, 2, and then pulls out his guns and shoots at Mickey like crazy, but never hits him. Mm-hmm. And Mickey's a cool customer the whole time. And then goes full Mickey.
Yes.
Which leads us to Monkeys Romp number only. What am I doing hanging around?
Again.
Yeah, again. So weird.
I wonder.
And so it's like the banditos are shooting at the boys who just kind of goad them on. And then Davy goes up to Angelita and watches Peter mess up a cannon. There's live shots from the performance from earlier, which are cool. Mickey has big Mickey hair, and it's awesome. It's more shooting. Mickey, Mike, and Davy join the banditos and get back to their side. And I think get kicked out and go back to their side. Like they show up on the other side shooting it where they should be.
Yeah.
Mickey gets tangled up in a lasso, and it keeps going throughout this thing. Davy has a guitar that gets shot off of him. Mike and Peter get their hats shot off, which is another clip from the intro. Guapo chases Peter like a bunny for some reason. Davy takes his gun out of his holster and his belt falls down. That's the opening shot from the new intro.
Iconic.
As soon as you see it, yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, there that is. Peter has a bow and arrow, and El Guapo gets an arrow through his head. You know, like this classic Steve Martin arrow through the head. Davy doesn't know how to get on a horse, which is weird because he's the horse guy. Peter smashes a vase over Bandito's head. Mickey finally shoots the lasso at the end because he hates it so much. The boys tie up the entire group of banditos, but all the banditos still have their guns as they're getting tied up. So it's banditos. Come on. They must have been out of bullets, I guess.
Weren't they still wearing a couple dozen bullets? No?
Yeah, I could have threw the bullets at them. So heavy. And that's the end of the episode. Like, there's no wrap up or anything. It just goes right to For Pete's Sake. And now it's the first time you hear For Pete's Sake over the outro. And that, too, was like, oh, here it is. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there used to be a tag on the episode included on some of the collections on the DVD or whatever, where Davy's kissing Angelita again, and then he just stops for a second and punches out El Guapo. And that's the tag on the episode. For some reason, it's not on every version of this episode that comes out. So there's a tag. It just doesn't show up everywhere. Another thing about What Am I Doing Hanging Around? I wonder, do you think they had the episode about going to Mexico first? Or do you think they had this song about going to Mexico first? Or do they think one of these begat the other one? Or is it just a coincidence?
I couldn't see Mike writing a song for an episode specific like that.
I don't think he wrote it.
Oh, okay. Well then,
I think he sings it, but it's not a
Nesmith original.
It's a Michael Martin Murphy, Owen Castleman jam.
Oh, for some reason I always thought he wrote it. Interesting.
Wow.
But to get to your point, I don't know. I that's a good question. That's a very good question. We'll have to ask him.
Because, then they definitely had that, when they'd shot the video, the performance of it, they got the Tex-Mex accoutrement on the wall behind them. Mm-hmm. So, they might have shot the episode. They crank out Headquarters and Pisces within the same, spring, summer. And got to find spots for all the tunes.
Wow.
So they might have shot the episode and then came up with a song to put in it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's cool to hear it, cool to see them playing it, cool to see how they look while they're playing it. Because
definitely.
The I guess the new school Monkees, not the old school Monkees. So, overall thoughts. I'm not sure why the second season feels more like the Monkees to me, but it does. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I just have more of an affinity, but it also might just be because that's the time of the Monkees. That's when their records were really great. That's when everything was going on.
It's true.
But getting into this was maybe stoked. I was so much more excited to get into the second season.
Yeah, it's true.
And,
I think you kind of start seeing, it is neat that they're on location, quote unquote, somewhere else. It's obviously the Mexico backlot of wherever they're shooting, but there's some story beats. Feels like they're repeating things. Feels like they're recycling pieces of costume, like El Guapo's sheepskin vest. We saw, Honey and the Bear wearing that. We're going to see Buddy wearing that in Head, and a few times in between it shows up. So they got this sheepskin vest around.
Man.
Just to throw on somebody who needs to look big and mean, I guess. And one of the gypsy guys was wearing it too, where they also had some sort of competition of abilities with these people they're trying to blend in with. That kind of vibe to this episode as well.
Yeah.
But, what can you do?
It was a really funny episode. It obviously has uncool moments, racially speaking, but it's of its time, which isn't a good excuse, but it's
really
nothing
overtly offensive, like monkey chow mein type stuff.
That's exactly what I have. Yeah, it's like monkey chow mein is another level of whoa. Mm-hmm. We had it opens the season, but it was shot in April '67, so it wasn't even the first one to be shot for this season. But yeah, and it keeps the vibes of the first season, but also feels like the boys are stretching out a bit more. Like that opening, knocking down the chairs and just laughing at stuff and keeping it in. Mickey's big hair. Mike has the wool hat with the buttons on it. Yeah, and Davy's got the bowl cut.
I think this is one of several scripts, actually. I think there's about 9 episodes that were made from scripts left over from season 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there guns? Was there ever?
You're darn right.
Yeah. Guns everywhere in this episode. The only person that didn't have a gun was Angelita.
Pretty much.
Monkey's ruse. Yeah, the boys being banditos, I guess, was their ruse.
That counts for sure.
Yeah. Fourth wall break, I don't think so. I didn't notice one.
Not one sticks out to me.
Yeah. So yeah, none. But best musical moment, obviously, What Am I Doing Hanging Around? Because there's no other choices.
Pretty much. And they don't go to the pad at all in this.
At all. They're trapped in Mexico the whole time. Classic Monkees moments. I'd say Davy taking the gun out of his holster and his belt dropping. It's kind of like we were saying, iconic.
Yeah, we're gonna see a few of those in these first few episodes of the second season, where it's like, oh, there's where that came from. Oh, there's where that came from. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because we've already seen 2 of them. What wouldn't fly in 2021? White dudes playing Mexican dudes wouldn't go over so well.
Nope.
Oh, some did you knows here. Or, sorry, just one did you know here. When Mike and Micky and Davy joined the Banditos during the romp, Davy's holding a copy of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the record. And it was a few weeks from being released at the time of this shooting.
Oh.
So it's like Davy's like flaunting his new copy of the new Beatles album. I believe it might be during the romp that you see. Yeah, during the romp you see it. So.
And they would knock Headquarters out of number one after Headquarters is number one for 1 week.
Yeah.
Sgt. Pepper comes out, and that's that for Headquarters. And apparently, I didn't know this. I didn't notice a difference, but like a week before they shot this episode, Mike Nesmith had his tonsils out, and his voice is different. But I didn't tell. I couldn't tell. I didn't notice specifically that his voice was different, but apparently it is.
Maybe when he says like, "Who is this El Diablo person?"
Who is this El Diablo person?
Maybe that was because of his tonsils coming out.
Possibly.
Personal memory. I had a black and white striped shirt similar to Davy's when I was in grade 7 or 8. So that, for me, that's all it was.
He had this on once or twice last season too, right?
I believe so. Yeah, maybe. Maybe just thinking of when they were like in jail and we're in the black and whites.
That's possible too.
And so that's Monkees in Mexico, or a nice place to visit, depending on what you're saying.
Fair enough.
So there you go. Boom. Season 2 hit the ground running. I think it's a good season opener, I'd say.
Yeah, man. It was a good choice. And I get to promote What Am I Doing Hanging Around pretty hard.
Yeah.
And looked like they had some fun making it too.
Yeah, definitely. Seemed like happy fellas. Oh, what is that I hear?
You've heard of wool hats, haven't you? It's Mike's hat. It's knitted.
Could it be?
Is it time?
How long has it been?
It has been months, for real months, since we have heard that tune, and since we have had an opportunity to reach into the Woolhat of Mystery.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, this is going to be great. All right, so I'll go first. I'll kick off season 2 here.
All right. Let her go. Give her, Paco. Get those phalanges in there.
All right, here we go. We've got... Ooh, I Won't Be the Same Without Her.
Oh, my God. That is an amazing track.
And I won't be the same without her. No, I won't be the same without her by my side.
That's a great one right there.
I Won't Be the Same Without Her. Written by Jerry Goffin and Carole King. Sung by our man, Michael Nesmith, our good buddy. And, like, it shows up on Instant Replay. Apparently, they recorded it during Mike's first sessions back in '66. Didn't make it onto the album. But it made it onto this. Track 3 of Instant Replay, which intentionally or not, comes off as a concept album about loss and disillusionment and being bummed out in general. And there's no happy ending to this song. It just makes a statement in the title. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's so good. Like the melody of it's good. They've got the banjo, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. Is it a banjo? Hold on.
I believe there's a layer of banjo in there, yeah. This has got that late Monkees phenomenon where it's got incredible background vocals, but if you listen, you could tell it appears to be sung by Mike, and you wish it was sung by Micky.
Yeah, because Micky's not on the recording at all, but Peter plays bass and electric guitar.
Oh, cool.
And Mike does the backing vocals, and he's also the arranger, Mike, as well.
So those tracks might be from those sessions back in '66 because Peter's still around, and he is not around for this record.
Yeah, because there is a remastered version on the Monkees debut album.
Oh, yeah?
From the original recordings. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's interesting.
For real.
I wonder if that's going to be on that new double record, that new Monkees debut double album coming out in March.
It's possible.
I hope so.
Don't know, man.
So, anywho.
Allow us to dust off the Randomatic countdown.
Yeah.
And where do you think this is going to go? It's going to be up there.
I think it is, man. Like, I'm looking at the list. Number 20 is Papa Jean's Blues.
Yeah.
And then is Randy Scouse get, for Pete's sake, Steppin' Stone. That's the 20s to 17.
Mm-hmm. I really like this too.
Me too. Me too. I'm looking. I might even say going in at number 15 between Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow and Sometime in the Morning.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I'm with you there, Paco. It's a good one. We dig it. Possibly more than most, but that's what happens here on Podcast Valley Sunday.
We're used to that. Boom, number 15. We've already got a new jam. All right. So, Jeff, your turn. Here we go.
Okay. Oh, it's perfect because it's What Am I Doing Hanging Around?
That's crazy.
We've just done a lot of talking about it. So let's talk a little more about it.
Wowee. What are the odds of that?
What am I doing hanging round? I should be on that train and gone. I should be riding on that train to San Antone. What am I doing hanging round?
What am I doing hanging around? Off of Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones.
Yeah.
Great song. We've already talked about how it's a great song. And it's now that we can actually really talk about it. I love Mike's vocals on this. He's got a couple moments where it's like you can hear the longing in him. You know what I mean? He's got that voice, and he hits it a couple times on this, and it's just great. That crazy plucking guitar throughout the whole thing, so great. It comes at a great time in the Monkees' history and everything, and I love this song too. What am I doing hanging around?
It's very cool. You know, Mike doesn't write it. It kind of fits in with his vision of sort of the country rock of the band.
Exactly. I think that's why I thought he wrote it, because it sounds like a Mike Nesmith tune.
Definite Mike vibes.
Yeah. And the background vocals are great. Everything's great. And now when I'm thinking of it now, I'm seeing that performance of them doing it. And it's like Micky the puffy hair, Mike with the big sideburns, Peter looking awesome, David the bowl cut, and David's like playing bass.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Another song I'm a big fan of. It's them playing on it. We've got Fast Eddie Ho on the drums.
Fast Eddie Ho. I've wanted to ask Mike if he could tell us anything about Fast Eddie Ho. And maybe if we get to talk to him again, I want it because he's a really mysterious character in the history of rock and roll, it seems. Plays on a lot of Monkees records, but we never hear from him. Otherwise, we don't know much about him.
All right, so what am I doing hanging around? It's popped up twice today. That's so crazy. That is the craziness of the Randomatic Countdown, where you can get these tie-ins to the songs, to the show. It's crazy, crazy. Season 2, already crazy.
My favorite rando thing, one of my other favorite rando things in the countdown was after we talked about I'm a Believer, we went back to the hat and like, oh, it's going to be something less well-known than I'm a Believer. And we pulled out the theme from the Monkees. Where shall we pop this bad boy in our countdown?
I'll say you can take the lead on this. You pulled it out, so
hey, all right.
You can look. So P.O. Box is still like the line.
I think we're up more. We're up way more.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying. I feel like now there's 3 parts of this countdown.
The creamy middle is like is widening.
The marmalades are getting bigger.
Okay, but this is gonna be more in the top 40, I think. I'd almost put it somewhere around Salesman because it's got that kind of vibe.
Yeah, Salesman's at number 30. You got before Salesman is You Didn't Feel That Way Last Night.
Don't you remember?
And after it is Zorn Zam.
So yeah, I think we're right in here. Let's put it just above our little pocket of Dolenz Jones, Boyce and Hart. Right below Right and Wrongs. We'll put What Am I Doing Hanging Around?
At number 27?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So at number 27, we have What Am I Doing Hanging Around?
One more song to draw from the hat today.
Here we
Whenever
go.
you're ready, Paco.
All right, you can hear it. All right, we've been on a good streak. Let's see if
For
I can
real,
read
it's been a good day.
All right, here we go. We have Our Own World.
We're in our own world. We're in our own world. We're in our own world that nobody else can see.
It's a good one. I like this tune. From the Good Times album.
Always good times.
2015-ish, I think. Yeah, written by the late, great Adam Schlesinger. And it's really, he plays guitar and bass and keyboards on it as well. And just kind of, it's very much a Monkees-shaped song. Micky sings lead. Peter and Michael are on the background vocals. And Peter also plays keyboards. And someone named Brian Young plays the drums. And that's the extent of the people on this tune.
Perfect. Nice, tight little group.
2016, excuse me, I believe was when
2016.
Good Times came out, which is already almost 5 years ago. Goddamn.
Yeah, it's crazy. Got to get a new record soon.
Yeah, we need the Monkees record for the 20s.
Yeah.
There's been almost one every decade.
It's true.
Not many bands do, like the Stones maybe, but you don't see that often.
No. Aerosmith, perhaps.
Oh boy.
But yeah, all right. So where do you feel this song should go in our countdown here? It's a good tune, but how good is it when you stack it up with some of this stuff?
It's a good tune. It just shows the depth of the Good Times album, because I do dig the song. It's not the best song on the record because there's a lot of good tunes. So we'll probably tuck it down around, I don't know, mid-third. Once again, we got Me and Magdalena at 41, and that feels low still. And I'd listen to this. I'd listen to Me and Mags before I'd listen to this.
Yeah, I was actually even going to put it between As We Go Along and Tomorrow's Going to Be Another Day at number 43.
Oh, well, that's where I got Cripple Creek, which was our honorary slip-in from episode 32.
Oh, shoot, I didn't add that in. So then I would probably slip it into the same spot, just above, before Cripple Creek.
Yep, sounds good.
43.
Yeah, just above Tomorrow's Going to Be Another Day. We got Our Own Little World. Wow, that's a fun trip into the old Woolhat of Mystery, wouldn't you say, Paco?
It was nice to come back to some good tunes rather than like three duds right at the stop. I'd be like, oh, man, come on, Woolhat.
Well, that's very cool. And every time we pull a tune from Instant Replay, I'm just reminded of how secretly strong that record is.
It is. It is the hidden gem, I think, of the Monkees 60s records. I don't think people give it the credit because it's the three of them's near the end. But when you break it down,
Good
really
tunes,
good
man.
album.
Good tunes.
Super good. It's been a while, but I hope you had a good time. I hope everybody listening enjoyed it. Leave comments. Let us know what you think. Would you put these songs higher or lower? I don't know until you tell us.
We wouldn't do anything about it if you told us.
No, you have your own huge Monkees monster list of songs.
Yeah. Get your own Randomatic countdown.
Yeah, exactly. You buy your own wool hat. Actually, this hat was made. This wasn't a purchase. It was a specifically made wool hat. But anyways, kids, it's about that time. We're going to wrap up Podcast Valley Sunday for this week. Thank you for checking us out.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
Yes, it really is. So thank you, everyone. And from me, Paco.
And me, Jeff.
Have yourselves a Monkees little evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.